Well, if you like to catch catfish, you ought to try to get good at throwing a cast net. It really helps getting bait. And in a minute here, I'm going to slow this video down and show you exactly how I throw it best I can. This is a cool day today. The wind's coming in at my face, which is what you want. You want the wind blowing the bait into you. But it's 42 degrees outside, so it's cool. So it's kind of a tough day. And what I'm catching here is white perch, the shad. The water's too cold for shad to come in. They're out deep somewhere. They're not in. Water was 62 degrees, and I think it needs to be 65 to 70, 75 for them shad to get up close to the bank. But first thing you want to do, make sure you get all your tangles out of your net. You can bounce it. You can do all kinds of ways of getting it out. Bounce it on the ground, bounce it in the air, but you have to get the tangles out. And don't waste them fish. What I do is I'll fold it over a foot from the top. I'll grab that bridle line and I'll give it a shake. Get your tangles out. Hook that under your thumb. And I'll reach down here in a minute and I'm going to grab it again. I'm going to bring it up again and hook that under my thumb one more time. Like that. Now I'm going to grab the bottom and I'll spread it out. I'll spread it, try to make sure there's no more tangles. If there is, I can bounce them out, whatever. But here's the important part. I throw it backwards and get that thing spreading. And when I throw it forward, I'm going to flip my wrist at the last second forward and get that to open. Now, many times I'll throw it up in the air a little bit, upward, and that helps it to catch air sometimes also. But I flip that wrist that last second. I think that really helps, and then let her sink to the bottom. Now I'm throwing this off of a boat ramp. It's pretty safe. I avoid rocks, trees, things like that, because I want my cast net back. If you hook it on a rock, you might be wading out there to get it again. So, plus it just tears your nets up when you hook it on rocks and things under the water. It's just not good. There's a 4-foot Betts cast net. It's a cheaper version. I don't know what model it is, but it is 4 foot. It's a great starter net. You can catch plenty of bait with it. And the 4 foot is fairly easy to throw. I think that's probably the place to start. And that one got 3-4 fish, so that was a pretty decent throw. What I highly recommend is you get in the cast net and you go out in the front yard, backyard, playground somewhere and get thrown it a few times and getting that thing to spread and pancake open, that's what they call it. It takes some practice. It just doesn't come easy. And you can try different methods. You can watch YouTube like this, and there's many people have many different methods, but it is much easier with a smaller net. Like I say, and this is don't slip. This is a 3/8 inch mesh. They make 1/4 inch mesh, they make 1/2 inch net mesh, and 3/8. The 1/4 inch sinks very, very slowly. 3/8 is kind of a compromise between that and 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch will sink fast, but the smaller fish, they get hung up in it and the gills and so forth. They're hard to get out. So 3/8 isn't bad. What you do not want to do is do not want to catch big fish in it. If it's at all possible, they will tear your net up, guaranteed. I've caught catfish in mine, carp, and they rip holes in it. You end up sewing it up, which is some fishing line, 6-pound test or something, and you kind of tie the holes up, wrap them up. But it's all part of it. But boat ramps are typically the place to be. It's safe, it's easy to throw. And there's a tangle, just shake them out. You can get them shook out of a smaller net. And you don't have to be thrown out there real far. If you got wind like this coming in, they bring the bait fish to you. If the water were warmer, we'd be cleaning up on shad, but the shad are out deep, like I say, too cool yet. I'm out here. I started 20 minutes before the sun came up, and that is the best time to do this. The shad, the bait fish will be in close typically, and then as the sun comes out, especially if it's sunshiny, if the sun is shining, they'll go out to deeper water. And you can throw in deeper water, but it's hard. Ideally you get a cast net with heavier weights around it. It's made for throwing in deeper water. They'll have a longer rope on them. I've got an 8-foot one it's much heavier, and it's not easy to throw. I can't get it to open wide up. I'll be working on that this summer though. But it sinks much faster because the weight's much bigger on it. What I'm catching here today are white perch. These are the Kansas State Fish and Game has labeled these fish as invasive, and they want them destroyed. Basically, these fish are eating up the food for the walleye and the white bass, and they are prolific breeders. They grow exponentially in numbers. So we're allowed to use them for bait, as many as we want. We can eat them. They're too small, at least the ones I'm catching. You can use them for cut bait. You're not allowed to leave the park with them alive. So, and they recommend that if you catch any, you don't throw them back, you destroy them. So that's what we do with them. They work for cut bait, usually, if the fish are biting released. This is the basic way I throw it. It works 95% of the time for me, at least. If you see anything you appreciate, do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you got any comments, send me a note. I answer them all, even the bad ones. But if you want catfish, this is something you need to work on. And cast nets aren't all that expensive. They're, 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending on what you get. So, and it's a lot cheaper than buying bait, if you ask me. So, and it's kind of fun, actually. So, until next time, guys, try and get some bait, go catch some big fish. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care.